Well, the court is a very traditional place, and today the courtroom is open, and Justice Scalia's chair is draped in black. The space in front of his seat on the bench is draped in black, and the entrance to the courtroom is draped in black. It's a tradition that dates back at least to the 1870s, whenever a justice, either a sitting or a retired justice, dies. It's customary when a justice dies for the body to lie in repose in the Great Hall of the court, which is just up the steps inside. And I think we can expect that to happen with Justice Scalia. When that happens, usually the current justices line the steps of the court. When the casket is carried in and out, I would think we would see that again. Prominent lawyers who once worked for Justice Scalia as law clerks at the Supreme Court are likely to have roles of honor, keeping watch over the casket and things of that nature. And then I think we will see that the funeral probably will take place before the week is out, if only because the Supreme Court is supposed to resume its work of hearing cases starting on Monday. And I think the court will want to show that in spite of this great loss, that it continues to function and function effectively. Well, the court will obviously continue to hear and try to decide cases with 8 justices. Now, the truth is there are only a handful of cases in the course of a term where the court is divided that closely. Those cases where the court is split 4-4, whether it's between its liberals and conservatives or otherwise, the court has 2 options. It can either decide to hear those cases again when there's a full complement of justices, or it can hand down a 4-4 decision, which in effect doesn't count for the Supreme Court. It merely leaves in place whatever the lower court decided. There have been occasions in the past where the court has functioned with 8 justices for an extended period of time. Most recently was in late 1987 and early 1988, when Justice Powell retired, and it took the Senate about 8 months to confirm a successor. Well, that's because the Senate first rejected the nomination of Robert Bork, and then the second nominee put forward by President Reagan, Douglas Ginsburg, withdrew his nomination. Reagan then nominated Anthony Kennedy, who was confirmed without a dissenting vote in early 1988. The short answer is the court can function with 8 justices. It has, but it's also not an ideal situation, because there are those cases where the justices are split evenly, and that's a situation the court likes to avoid, in part because it's on one hand it's a waste of the court's time, and it also leaves the country without a sort of a national rule. The very reason the court took the case was to set a national rule, whatever the legal issue is, and that has to await another day.